Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Daily Calls, a show that addresses all your stock related queries. And in case you have some questions about the stocks in your portfolio, you want to take an expert advice, this is the right platform for yourself. Now, of course, you can send me your queries on the WhatsApp number that's flashing on your screens. Don't forget to mention your name, your contact details and your location as well. And alternatively, you can also log on to our YouTube channel that's on Business Today and go to the Daily Calls live, go to comment section and send me some of your questions. I'll be happy to address some of those questions also with all our top guests who will be joining in. Let me quickly first read up the markets for you and see how the situation is developing. We started off on the back foot today. We tested 24,900 in trade today, and in the morning we were also down by about 260 odd points. Right now we have tad bit recovered on the Nifty and you can see 24,939, 170 point of a dip right now on the markets. Now, of course, when we look at little below the surface, we are also seeing some other sectors that are now hovering higher in trade. You can actually see, apart from the media stocks that were already up this morning, metals have started to pull up. There is some also buying that's happening on the broader markets. Mid and small caps are also doing well. Defense names, railway names were already in thick action, and now you can actually see some more PSU stocks also pulling up in trade from the railway pack, power space, oil and gas space. These are the spaces that are seeing some kind of a traction in trade as well. Let's also look at the key stocks within the Nifty that are hovering higher. Top moving stocks on the Nifty, you have BEL that's up nearly 3% at 420 odd levels. You have Trent at 2.8% higher, 6,063 odd levels for this one. Adani Enterprises, Hindalco, Adani Ports, Bajaj Finance, Eternal is also up in trade. You have life insurance names that are doing well in trade as well. What's not doing well? IT stocks. They are the big drag today. Remember, after Accenture came out with the earnings, that's been a space that has been slightly damp in spirits. You can actually see Infosys, HCL Tech. You can also look at names like HUL, Shriram Finance, M&M. These are the stocks that are actually not doing very well. Let's also look at some railway related stocks that are hovering higher. Titagarh Rail 7% higher. It's the top moving stock on the F&O space. You have Polycab from the cables and the wires segment that's also doing well. KEI Industries also from the same basket that's also doing well. 3.5% higher, 3 at 3.5% higher in trade. Some other stocks like even Glenmark Pharmaceuticals from the pharma pack as well doing good at this point in time. Dixon Technologies is another one that's also hovering higher. So some of these stocks, let me also pull up for you some broad market related stocks that are hovering up. Idea Forge 10% higher, Polo Microsystems about 9.5% up, Z Entertainment is higher in trade, Malu Papers is up, you have Bliss GVS Pharma from the pharma pack that's up in trade, Salzer Electronics, Mangalore Refinery, some oil and gas related stocks. These are all the stocks that are hovering up. Let me now welcome our guest on board, Mr. Jay Thakkar. He's the head of derivatives and quant research, vice president of ICICI Securities, now joining in on the program with us. Hi Jay, good afternoon to you. Good to have you with us. Tell me your fresh view on the markets. Again, we have a lot of geopolitical news that's keeping the markets and investors on the edge. How do you see, the trade that's panning out, and what is your advice to the traders?
Hi, a very good afternoon to you, Sakshi. Thanks for having me again on your show. It's always a pleasure to be on this show and to answer all the queries as well. And as far as the market view is concerned, Sakshi, I would say that see, with all this news, Nifty is still trading within that recent swing highs of 25,200 and is managing to hold 24,500 levels. So all the news is getting digested in the markets, and Nifty has been trading within that 750 points range. In fact, if you also see Bank Nifty, that's been managing to hold out the levels of say 54,000 on the lower side and is not able to surpass 57,000 on the upside. So there you got 3,000 points range, here you got 750 points range. Yeah, markets are range bound. So I mean, to have a very clear view actually going forward, you require a clear breakout from this range. Only a breakout from this range can get a directional, decisive kind of a move, and one can form a view thereafter what to do. Otherwise, stock specifically, there are a lot of things happening, which we will discuss for sure. Stocks and sectors, there are a lot of things happening. But as far as the frontline indices are concerned, I mean, there's absolutely no overall view out there. I mean, I would say there are three kind of trends. Sakshi always. One is an uptrend. From the derivatives point of view, it becomes very important. One is the uptrend. Second is the downtrend. And the third, which many people don't know, they just look at up and down, but then it's sideways consolidation. That's what is happening in the markets, and that is where you use the maximum hedging and derivative strategies to benefit out of it.
Jay, we will of course be speaking to all our viewers and taking their questions, but I also wanted to start off by taking your own choice of stocks as well. What are you looking at? Are there any safe haven stocks that you're looking at that may actually stay unaffected because of the volatility and the kind of sentiments that are being hit because of the geopolitical tensions? Where can you continue to safely continue to invest?
Well, I would say that telecom is a sector wherein Bharti has definitely been outperforming, and it's gaining the market share. First of all, it's gaining the uh, overall weightage as well in the market. Because of which, Sakshi, the index funds deployment in the Bharti is increasing. Secondly, we had this FTSE or FTSE rebalancing on Friday, because of which we saw 8,000 plus crores buying of the FIIs, right? On that particular day, because mainly it was due to FTSE rebalancing. So that played a major role. And whenever you have this MSCI or FTSE rebalancing, you see the inflows basically coming in. Now, because of which Industar, Bharti Airtel, all of these stocks saw a good up move. So Bharti Airtel is my pick, one of the pick. I think it's continuously going up. So in the short term, I believe that now until unless 1900 levels are held on a closing basis, I think Bharti is likely to surpass 2000 levels. So 2000 would be my first target, 2040 would be my second target. That's the short term view. And alternatively, Indus Tower also looks positive. But then, Bharti relatively being in higher weightage stock, I'm recommending this. So that would be the first stock. Second, I think from the defense name, defense is likely to further do well. And as a disclaimer, we have a technical buy recommendation on this, and that's on HAL. It's trading around the levels of 5,030. And I think that on the downside, actually, it has got a good support around the levels of 4,900. So with a stop loss of 4,900, we can go long on HAL, targeting around 5150, 5250 positionally. And one can expect this to happen probably in July series. So that's the second buy recommendation. Um, I've got one more. That's on for mainly on account of short covering. So actually, we've seen a good amount of shorts getting built up in Chambal fertilizers, right from 740 levels until 530 levels.
Yeah.
Now, short getting covered there, and I think there is a good short-term technical reversal as well. So I think that Chambal fertilizer can bounce back till the levels of 580, 595. So I've got a buy recommendation there as well. On the low side, 548 is a very good support. So that can be the stop loss.
Okay, got that. Jay, we have a lot of queries coming in, so we'll start off with our Q&A now. We have Bindu writing in first, and she wants to know about IFCI from you, and wants to know what exactly is the outlook on this stock, and do you track this one, and how is it looking technically? IFCI Limited, 60.3 is the current level. Last 5 days have been sideways. Last 1 month, a 9% move, largely on the sideways trajectory. What would you say?
Well, it's in a non-FNO stocks, I have to comment technically, and as a
Yes.
disclaimer, I track equities and quant. So based on the quant, is what I see is that the volumes have gone up. Sakshi, for sure, that's the rate of change in the volumes have increased in the IFCI, and that is one trigger which indicates that the rally which had come right from the levels of say 38 to 72. I mean, wherein the stock almost double, we have seen a good increase in volumes. So that's a positive thing, price going up, volume going up. And I think that now, on the downside, 50 seems to be a good average level. And, for this entire rise. So till 50 levels are held, the possibility of an upside in IFCA is higher. It can definitely surpass its previous swing high of 90. So one can be bullish on this, keeping a trailing stop loss of 50.
Okay, a fair point. I hope this has also helped you out in understanding the right strategy. Next, we have this question from Kamlesh Narkhere. He said, "Hi Sakshi, hi Kamlesh, how are you?" Says on Siemens India, what is your thought? Long term में इसका किस तरीके से आउटलुक आप देखते हैं? और अभी ये 2650 पर ट्रेड कर रहा है. आगे जाते हुए किस तरीके से आपको लगता है ये स्टॉक बढ़ सकता है? सीमेंस के शेयर को आप देखें तो इनफैक्ट अब ये स्टॉक बढ़ चुका है, 3120 पर ट्रेड करता हुआ नज़र आ रहा है। यहाँ पर अगर हम पिछले कुछ दिनों की बात करें, एक महीने में 5% तक के आसपास की हमें गिरावट दिखी है, और पिछले 6 महीने में भी यहाँ पर एक हमें ड्रॉप देखने को मिला है। इनफैक्ट अगर हम देखें ख़ास तौर पर स्टॉक को, अप्रैल के आसपास यहाँ पर थोड़ी वीकनेस आई थी। कैसे देखते हैं आप सीमेंस के शेयर को अभी?
वेल साक्षी, आई वुड से दैट कि सीमेंस में शॉर्ट्स बने थे। शॉर्ट्स जब ये स्टॉक गिरा ऊपर से लगभग समझिए 4,500 से लेकर 2,500 तक लगभग जब गिरा, तो अच्छे खासे शॉर्ट बिल्डअप हो, तो शॉर्ट कवरिंग देखने मिल रही है क्लियरली। अगर मैं डेरिवेटिव्स डेटा देखूं तो शॉर्ट कवरिंग देखने मिली, बट इतनी भी नहीं मिली। और कैप गुड सेक्टर ओवरऑल में पॉजिटिव देखिए, ये रेट कट के कारण दिस इज गोइंग टू बी वन ऑफ द सेक्टर्स व्हिच इज गोइंग टू बी बेनिफिशियरी ऑफ द सेम, बिकॉज ऑफ द कैपेक्स गोइंग फॉरवर्ड इज वेरी मच लाइकली एट लोअर रेट्स। एंड वंस द इंडस्ट्री को आइडिया लग जाता है कि रेट्स नीचे रहने वाले और वगैरह होने वाला, तो केपेक्स साइकिल आपकी टर्न हो सकती है फ्रॉम डाउन टू अप, और मे बी अगर वो स्टैग्नेंट हो गई थी तो आप हो सकती है, बिकॉज आपका कॉस्ट ऑफ बोरिंग सीधा 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 कम हो जाता है। सो दैट इज गुड फंडामेंटल रीजन व्हिच आई बिलीव। अदरवाइज क्वांटिटेटिवली एंड फ्रॉम द डेरिवेटिव्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू इज व्हाट आई से दैट डाउनसाइड में साक्षी मेरे हिसाब से 3,050 के लेवल बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है। 50 के आसपास अगर आता है तो आप ऐड कर सकते हैं, और कोई एक अच्छा सपोर्ट भी है, आई थिंक वो होल्ड करना चाहिए। ऑन दी अपसाइड मुझे लगता है साक्षी लगभग ये 3500 तक जा सकता है पोजिशनली, सो वन कैन बी इनटू दिस। ये आपको मैंने शॉर्ट टू मीडियम टर्म पर्सपेक्टिव बताया ना, क्या ये
ओके।
लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए अच्छा लग रहा था? मुझे लगता है लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए भी साक्षी अच्छा है। कैपिटल गुड सेक्टर ओवरऑल मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है साइकिल टर्न हो जाएगी, और जो रिलेटिवली आउट परफॉर्म कर रहा है ये सीमेंस हैज बीन वन ऑफ द परफॉर्मर, तो गोइंग फॉरवर्ड आल्सो यू कैन सी अ गुड गेन।
ओके कमलेश जी, उम्मीद करते हैं यहाँ पर आपको पूरी तरीके से राय मिल चुकी है, इसे आप अध्ययन करेंगे। नेक्स्ट हम लेते हैं सवाल सोमालिया बिस्वास का। लिखते हैं, हाय साक्षी, हाउ आर यू? आई एम वेरी वेल। सोमालिया, थैंक्स फॉर आस्किंग, होप द सेम फॉर यू। ही इज़ फ्रॉम कोलकाता। ही सेज, आई हैव 6 लॉट्स ऑफ निफ्टी एट 25,000, कॉल ऑप्शन लिया है 84.4 का। आई वॉन्ट टू नो अ स्टॉप लॉस एंड टारगेट ऑफ दिस ऑप्शन, एंड शुड आई होल्ड दिस ऑप्शन एज वेल? दैट्स हिज क्वेश्चन।
25,000 का कॉल दिया हुआ है, एंड हो क्या रहा है कि मार्केट तो रोज ऊपर नीचे। आई थिंक 25,000 का कॉल साक्षी कितने पे लिया है? सॉरी,
84.4।
84.4 पे लिया है, तो डेफिनेटली आप स्टॉप लॉस ट्रेल कीजिएगा, आप प्रॉफिट में हो और मार्केट काफी वॉलेटाइल है। आपका स्टॉप लॉस अब होना चाहिए 94 का। सो आई थिंक 94 भी अगर लग जाता है तो आप प्रॉफिट होगा ही। एंड ऊपर में आपको टारगेट मेरे हिसाब से रखना चाहिए, अगर इंट्राडे पर्सपेक्टिव आप रख रहे हैं। सो 25,000 पे ही थोड़ा अच्छा खासा राइटिंग हमें देखने मिला है, और 25,000 तक जाता भी है ये, तो लगभग आपको 30 पॉइंट्स का और डेल्टा मिलेगा यहाँ से। और 30 पॉइंट्स का अगर आपको डेल्टा मिलता है तो इसका भाव हो जाना चाहिए लगभग 140 रुपए के आसपास, तो दैट शुड बी योर इंट्राडे टारगेट।
Okay, got that. Taking the next one. This one is from Ankur Modi. Writes in, hi Sakshi, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Ankur. Says, Jay sir, please can you give me your view on two stocks, Excite and Gabriel India, at the current levels for long term? Excite from
Definitely.
the battery space and Gabriel India, both of them.
Exide has seen more of whatever Sakshi मैं कहूंगा कि from the derivatives point of view, whatever correction right from approximately 580 600 levels until 330 which we saw has come mainly on account of long unwinding. The recent rise or a bounce back from 330 to 410 is not that impulsive move. By impulsive, I would say that means that it's not a straight, clear five-wave rising structure that gives a comfort from the medium to long term point of view. That's still not happened. So only beyond the levels of 410, I would say that we can expect Excite to basically provide that confirmation of an upward momentum. Otherwise, I would like to say that avoid 410 के ऊपर above 410 you can go long. Else you can wait for the lower levels of around say 340 or so. Now, as far as which was the second stock? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Gabriel.
Gabriel, okay. So Gabriel, I need to provide the quantitative outlook as futures में नहीं है ये. So quantitative perspective, I would say that overall the volumes are not gaining with that. The rate of change in volume is not that high as the rate of change in price. And उससे ये समझ में आ रहा है that on the upside around 600 levels, 625 levels are clear resistance. So now that would not provide you that kind of a alpha or returns. So you can avoid Gabriel also right now. It's not a bad stock. It's just that if at all it corrects, you should be looking for accumulating in correction, maybe around the levels of say 500 or below that. Till then, you can avoid capital. And Exide, as I said, only look to buy this beyond the levels of 410. Otherwise, it can correct.
Okay, fair point. Taking the next question, let's take some questions from our WhatsApp as well that we're getting. Mohit from Ludhiana writes in, says, I have 500 shares of Restaurant Brands Asia, that's Burger King, at 106 levels. My time horizon is 3 years. Can I continue to hold my position on Burger King or Restaurant Brands Asia at 79? The current level is. So he's sitting on losses right now. Even though if he has a long-term horizon, do you think this has enough potential?
I think there are other better names. Honestly, I mean, if you look at Eternal, or maybe for that matter Swiggy, which are into the delivery thing, because they deliver all of these. It's just not about working. So
Correct.
I think that there are better names than this, and even for that matter, Jubilant Foods actually.
Okay, got that. So, probably alternatives is what you could look at for better prospects. That's the suggestion for you, Mohit. Taking the next one, this is Rupesh Agarwal. He writes in on Hindalco, wants to know on metal space. He already has 2000 shares at the price of 647, but he has a short term view. So, if you could give a short term target on this one, Hindalco for you, what would you advise here? Metals are also buzzing in trade today, and Hindalco is at the day's high, 1.4% higher at 658. Any suggestion on this one? He's sitting on profits. Till when can he hold on and book out?
Actually, metals have been underperformers since long now, and I think whatever consolidation has happens, actually the probability of an upward breakout is there. Is the only risk is the if at all going forward, if dollar index bounces back, I don't know what will do metals, whether they will continue to bounce back or not, because dollar has fallen quite a lot, and despite that, we haven't seen metal index going up yet, right? Otherwise, generally we have this burst of between the two. Um, Unfortunately, this does not happen. However, looking cleanly on the data of Hindalco, I think that till 640 levels are held, Sakshi, there is a high probability that it reaches over the levels of 700. From a short-term perspective, with a stock of 640, one can be long on Hindalco.
Okay, got that. Now, Jay, we'll take another question, and this one is from one of our viewers who wants to know from you. Ratna Prabha writes in, says, good afternoon, Sakshi, and good afternoon, Jay, sir. Can you help me understand, can I sip BEL, or should I put lump sum amount of money? That's a good question to have, Ratna. See, defense stocks are in momentum. We do know that they have been consistently moving up. BEL has been a good story to track. It has consistently improved from 250 odd levels to over 400 levels, 420 currently on this one. So it's been a very remarkable story. Second time in a row where second rung of the rally has also seen BEL really perform quite a bit. You can see the last 3-month charts on your screens. That actually goes on to show a 40% rally that the stock has already given to all the investors. Those who had entered just 3 months back have actually celebrated these gains. But the question is, if one has to be a long-term investor in the defense story, and especially in a stock like BEL, should one just lock the price right now and put in a lump sum amount of money, or should one consistently keep doing SIPs?
I think yes, this has been one of the outperforming sectors, at least from the recent lows. I would say, I mean, wherein the earlier, if you see from the mid of 24, defense corrected or topped. Defense and railway, both of these were doing quite well, Sakshi, and they topped somewhere in May, June, July, and Nifty, Bank Nifty topped somewhere in November, right, October, November. So they bottomed also only, and they have taken off their highs also. So definitely they have shown the clear momentum is up in the medium to long term. Now, since we have already seen this kind of a rally happening, so lump sum should be invested when you see that kind of a correction which had come last year in the second half, right? And from this first quarter, we have seen a run up happening in different stocks. So I think that 6 to 9 months of consolidation when you get in any sector, that is the time when you invest lump sum. When the stock rally or the index rally has already happened or is happening, and that point of time, SIP is a better thing. I understand that if you lump sum right now, then it's better that you don't miss out on a bigger move right now, which is you are anticipating right now. But then what happens is ultimately things averages out over a period of 3, 4, 5 years when you're looking out for a long term. In that process, SIP will always give you a better returns and will protect you on a downside as well.
Okay, fair point. So I hope this has really helped out not just you but the larger audiences as well who may be looking at defense stocks and maybe wanting to know the right strategy there too. We have a question coming in on our WhatsApp. We'll take some questions from here now. We have this question now from Chandan Jain. He is from Hubli in Karnataka. He wants to know from you on KFin Tech. And he says, I'm sitting on 100% profit. First of all, many congratulations to you, Chandan, for sitting on 100% profit on KFin Tech. Now, he wants to know, can he continue to hold on or should he book out? Because KFin Tech is again up today. In fact, both the EMS plays, Dixon and KFin Tech, are in momentum yet again. There's a 5% rally on KFin Tech. It's at 1337 odd levels. And he's already sitting on 100% profits. What to do?
Well, quantitatively, when I see this, because from a derivatives perspective, Sakshi, I will not be able to comment, it's not available out there, but the stock had rallied quite significant returns it had given. Since listing, I mean, it listed somewhere in 23 and it was in mid of 23. And from that, those levels of 350 approximately, it went up to 1600 plus levels, but corrected also from 1600 to, almost 800 levels. Right, so it almost corrected by 50%. And now the stock has started to go up. So I think that yes, there's a good chance that the stock might just have started its new fresh leg up. So continue being into this stock. Your trading stop loss should be 990. And if those levels are held, Sakshi, I would say that this stock can go as much as below above 1600 and maybe touching 2000 levels as well. So it can probably give you 50 odd percent return from these levels as well.
Okay, got that. Taking the next one then, this one is from one of our viewers, Momita from Kolkata. She writes and says, Hi Sakshi, hello to you as well Momita. Says I need help on two stocks and both are from the banking NBFC space. One is AU Small Finance Bank, bought at 683 rupees. Wants to know whether next 6 months can the stock be held on to? What is the prospect there? The second one is Dhani Services, bought at 57. Again, a short term view of 3 months here. So, 3 to 6 months view, AU Small Finance Bank, 6 months view, Dhani Services, 3 months.
I think EU is better. We all know that RBI's aggressive stance as far as the monetary policy is concerned. I mean, it was a bonanza for everyone, and I'm sure that in the medium to long term perspective, we are going to see the positive outcome of the same, and overall demand coming up, and I think the credit growth will also improve with that. So that is what banking stocks have actually factored in that previous rally. It's just that the rally fizzled out because of the geopolitical tensions actually. But the EU bank has been one of the outperformer in this fall as well because it did not correct and it's trading still at its 52-week high kind of a thing. So I think EU is a good stock. One can continue being into this and things once things settle down, I think banking BFSI is one segment which is definitely going to reverse well and is going to provide good returns is what we believe. So EU finance, one can continue to hold that, and if at all there is a correction, one can add to it as well. But as far as Dhani services is concerned, I am not much bullish on the same because I don't see that kind of data based on which I can say that yes, one can be invested from 6 months or maybe 12 months. There's no much clarity out there, so one can avoid this.
Okay, got that. I hope this has helped you out in identifying the stocks that you should continue to be with and those that you shouldn't be. Let's look at some other questions that are coming in. We have some questions on our YouTube as well that are coming in. So this one is from one of our viewers, Satya. He says, I have invested in a few infra stocks like PNC Infra and HG Infra. I want to know whether they are good stocks for long term and can I continue to hold on to them. HG Infra and PNC Infra. Technically, are any of these charts looking promising to you? Where can he continue to hold on his position?
HG infra, no, definitely no. The overall trend has been down, and what I also look at when I look at the volumes are rather increasing with the fall now, Sashi. I mean, the kind of a bounce which I had seen from 930 to 1300, the ROC, the rate of change in volumes were less, in fact, from the fall since 1300 to at present 1,000, that's been higher. The stock is falling with the increase in volumes, which is not positive. I think, the probability of it breaking its previous low of around 920, 900 is higher. So avoid HG infra. As far as PNC infra is concerned, I think that relatively is positive. And I think that till 280 levels level, from perspective, I think this stock can bounce back to 325.
Okay. Taking the next one now. This one is from one of our viewers, Satyanarayan Rao Kulkarni. He says, good afternoon. What's your view, sir, on green panel? And I want to know whether this is a stock that one can look at. Okay, let me, I think, are you talking about green ply? If that's the stock, then it is trading at 313 odd levels, and it's a percent down in trade. Last 5 days also there has been a muted to negative trend. On a year to date basis also the stock has been extremely sideways. Last 1 year a negative 3% return is what we've got. So last 1 year story has been kind of lackluster on this stock completely. But is this a stock that one can look at from these levels onwards, Jay?
Well, there is a stocks actually green panel as well. So I'll provide a view
Okay.
on both. Rather, there is confusion of green panel or green ply. So
Correct.
first I come to green ply, which is right now being shown on the screen. So I think that green ply relatively, I mean, both the stocks are good. Green
Okay.
ply is already broken out, and I think on the downside, the kind of a base which has formed multiple swing supports. 260 from the medium to long term perspective seems to be a good support. On the upside, it can go to the levels of say 400 plus as well. So green ply I'm bullish from the medium to long term perspective, and green panel has corrected quite a lot. It did touch the lower end of the range of say 200 or so. So if those levels are held, 400, that is the upper end of the range, can be tested.
Correct, and you're right. Green Panel is also a Gurugram based manufacturer of plywoods and MDF, so both are relatively in the same space also, and the names are also similar. And technically, also, you've just marked out for our viewers, but both the stocks look decent at this point in time as well. I hope this has given you some clarity, and you can actually look at both these stocks, Mr. Kulkarni. We'll take some other questions on our YouTube that are on our WhatsApp that are coming in. This is Satish Sampath. He says, can I buy Amara Raja batteries at the current market price? You did talk about Exide also right at the beginning of our conversation. What about Amara Raja? Is that a better one?
In fact, the stock was really underperformer. It was consolidating. Exide relatively looks better, I would say, Sakshi, as compared to Amara. It's just that the important level for this stock is that it was within a range of say 1,000 to 450 since 2015 until it actually broke out in 24. So it did not do anything for 10 years. Post 10 years breakout, it went from 1,000 to 1,700, and now it's back to 1,000 and below. So here you see that the stock only performed for a couple of months. That's it. But Excel has the overall performance. So I think Excel is better than Amara Raja. If at all someone is invested in Amara Raja, then I don't see a major support before 740. So 740 is a long-term support. If those levels are not broken, you have to 1,500, 1,700 or maybe higher. If 740 breaks, there is actually a clear more downside. So that should be the long-term model.
Okay, got that. Well, we'll take one more question. This is Indu Sharma, and she says, I want a view on Coal India. I already have a position at 405 odd levels. I want to know whether this is the right time to average the stock or should I exit it?
I think it's in a no trade zone, so do not do either of the things. I mean, because if it breaks 370s, actually, it would be a trigger for a downside, India, which can give you below the levels of 350, right? However, if it holds out and if it breaks 410, it can trigger a more short covering happening in this stock. So I think beyond 410, you can add for a rally until 440, and then yeah, at 440 or 450 levels, you can exit everything in profit. And if it breaks 370, I think you should be exiting from longs, as you might just get a lower price below maybe 350 as well. So the exit entries have exit areas have or exit points I've already discussed 370 and 410. Beyond 410, you can add below 370, you can add.
Okay, fair point. I hope this has also helped you understand the right strategy there. One last question we will squeeze in with you, Jay, on the show. And here, this question is from one of our viewers. Wants to know, Shivam Sharma, can I buy Bajaj Finance at the current price for the long term? Now it's the largest NBFC stock. We have often discussed this one. Whenever you think of an NBFC, the first name that comes to our mind is Bajaj Finance, and then comes Bajaj Finserv. That those are the largest names that we usually discuss. So long term, can one buy?
Of course, of course. I mean, you rightly said. I mean, this is one name which definitely comes to anyone's mind, and they've been quite aggressive as well. I mean, 25 January 2025 is when this year we got a breakout from this stock. It went actually since 2021 and last quarter. So almost like 3 plus 3 years, it did not do anything. It was consolidating within a range of say 800 to 500. I'm seeing this. I'm talking about the adjusted price. Okay, so 800 to 500 was consolidating, and that range is almost 60% from the lower end. Now that kind of a breakout has come, and you are the levels of 800. So if 800 into 60%, right, Sakshi, then that would come to around say around 30 kind of a target in the long term perspective. So I think the stop loss should be below 800 and target will be 1300. So the possibility of 400
Wow.
coming back is there. Still, risk reward is still 1:2. So the good stock to be and one can until 800 levels are not good.
Fantastic. Okay, Jay, thank you so much for being with us
Thank you,
and helping
Sakshi.
all our
Well, the best.
viewers, guiding in through with all their queries. Always a pleasure to have you.
Same as actually. Looking forward as well.
Thank you so much. All right, viewers, time to get into the second segment of our edition. And now we're going to be welcoming another special guest on Daily Calls. Mr. Kranti Batini joins in, the Director of Research at Wealth Mill Securities. Warm welcome to you, Mr. Batini. Good to have you with us yet again. We'll start off, of course, as usual, with your call on the markets and your outlook there. Things are going topsy-turvy when it comes to the geopolitical tensions, Israel, Iran. There are questions about whether there will be a regime change with the US bombing Iran as well. So those are also getting into, of course, we are not directly impacted, but indirectly, what would the trade mean, with the kind of Strait of Hormuz being shut? How long will it be shut? What kind of an impact will it create on the crude oil prices, macro economy? All of those questions are coming up, and therefore the sentiments on the D Street, although not crashing completely, they are still on the edge and they are unable to take a decision. How would you really look at it, sir?
Yes, actually, you summed up very well. And Sakshi, every geopolitical escalation have its own implication on the markets. That's what we're witnessing the current complete escalation of things in the Middle East at this point of time. Uh, Iran is a crude. Iran is important product producer in terms of the crude is concerned, and India have a very cordial relationship with Iran, and we have been importing crude from Iran from quite a long time. Uh, the crude prices have been kind for a nation like India from the past 48 months, from the past 5 years. 5 years have been any inch up of crude price, definitely it's going to have impact on the growth and also on the inflation. Uh, uh, to sum up the things, when the Israel and Gaza, the escalation started, crude went up to the range of $100 per barrel, and we have witnessed a subsequent downturn in the crude oil price. Okay, there were when the crude was when the first set of escalation of Middle East things that propped up in the market, there was a worry, there was a concern. But what I believe is in the medium to long term, okay, crude is in a bear market, but any kind of these kind of geopolitical escalations are concerned, they are going to give some kind of wings to the crude oil prices in the medium to short term. We need to closely monitor how the crude is going to be in the next couple of weeks, because there might be some kind of a trade cycle kind of impacts, the supply chain bottlenecks, they are going to have some kind of impact in the medium to short term. But definitely, we can't ignore the crude. If the crude is going out of hand, if the crude is going above $100 per barrel, definitely it's going to have impact. We have started our rate cut cycle. Inflation was under control for India. The macroeconomic things at the domestic level, they're quite favorable. But despite of the domestic events, positive events, but if the overseas events are going out of the hand, definitely it's going to have some kind of a negative impact. That's where the market is trying to give this kind of knee-jerk reaction at this point of time. There's a tug of war is going on between the bulls and the bears. Friday, we witnessed foreign portfolio investors coming up and buying on Indian markets. And there is overall positivity on the Indian market across the globe. When we interact with any fund manager across the globe, they are quite positive with respect to the Indian market prospects are concerned. But the joker in the pack can surprise these positive elements in the medium to short term. That is the reason we need to closely have a close view on the crude in the medium to short term.
Okay, fair point. Let's take the next question, and we have a lot of questions coming in, sir, from you, for you, as far as our YouTube viewers and our WhatsApp viewers both are concerned, and they are sending in. So we'll start off with the questions that are coming in for you. First up, this is Gaurav from Agra. He says, नमस्ते, मेरे पास पावर ग्रिड के 2000 शेयर्स है, 300 लेवल्स पर ख़रीदा है और 1000 RVNL के शेयर हैं, यहाँ 430 पर ख़रीदा है. दोनों में प्रॉफिट कब तक आ सकता है? 6 मंथ्स तक का इनका आउटलुक है. पहला पावर ग्रिड फ्रॉम द पावर स्पेस, 300 is his purchase level, 291 is the current price. The second one is RVNL, 1000 shares he has at 430. यहाँ पर भी कब तक प्रॉफिट आ सकता है? दो क्वेश्चंस हैं और दोनों में प्रॉफिट्स का वेट कर रहे हैं.
साक्षी, एक चीज मैं गौरव भाई को बोलने वाला है, कुछ चिंता मत करने की जरूरत नहीं है. दोनों शेयर्स काफी अच्छा है. एक है पावर ग्रिड, अच्छा कंपनी है, प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी भी अच्छा है. थोड़ा सा मार्केट का नीजर क्रिएशन का वजह से एक कंसल्टेशन फेज चल रहा है ये दोनों स्टॉकों का. दोनों स्टॉक काफी अच्छा है. अभी पावर, डिफेंस, रेलवे, दीज आर द 3 सेगमेंट्स, इंपॉर्टेंट सेगमेंट्स है. वो दो सेगमेंट्स में आपका शेयर्स पड़ा है. अभी कुछ घबराने का जरूरत नहीं है, होल्ड कर दीजिए. अगर ये इन्वेस्टमेंट पोजीशन आए तो आप थोड़ा सा मार्केट में कुछ ये भाव नीचे आए तो थोड़ा सा एक्यूमुलेट भी कर सकते हैं. बट लॉन्ग टर्म व्यू है, दोनों स्टॉक्स का पॉजिटिव व्यू है.
दोनों स्टॉक्स के ऊपर पॉजिटिव व्यू है, आपको घबराने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. दोनों अच्छे स्टॉक्स आपने अपने पोर्टफोलियो में रखे हुए हैं. नेक्स्ट हमारे पास जो सवाल आया है ये है भास्कर का, गुड़गांव से. लिखते हैं, हाय साक्षी, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ऑलवेज टेकिंग इन्वेस्टर्स क्वेश्चंस फॉर गाइडेंस. Thank you so much, Bhaskar, for writing in. Of course, that's our exact viewpoint with which we have launched daily calls. We want to take as many queries from investors, retail investors who always get stuck with such questions, and we want them to take the right advice from the right people, and that's why we get you the top market voices like Mr. Patini on the show to guide you on the calls that you have. Let's quickly take your question now. Techno Electric and Ganesh Ecosphere, 2 stocks that he is looking at. He wants your suggestions, sir, on fundamentals of both these companies. Are they good stocks to invest in? He can actually look at a long term horizon. He wants to know if any stock that you recommend between these two, what is the level that he should be looking at? Ganesha Ecosphere currently is trading at around 1400 levels, and you can also see similar level for Techno Electric as well.
Actually, with respect to the Techno Electric is concerned, it's a very strong company in terms of the data center business is concerned in India. Their new data centers have been coming up in Navi Mumbai and also in Chennai. The management profile is very good. In fact, he also need to consider these stocks have rallied. They witnessed a very strong rally, especially the Techno Electric is concerned. In last 4-5 years, the stock has rallied from a range of 115 levels to today at 1500 levels. So the majority of the earning translation is into fully factored at this point of time. But given the kind of the data center business prospects are concerned, okay, any dip in the stock he can add. With respect to Ganesha Ecosphere is concerned, it's fully priced in at this point of time. The company is into the yeah, eco recycling kind of business. At this point of time, it's fully priced in at. But given the kind of the long-term prospects of the Ganesha Ecosphere also concerned, he can add at dips. There is no hurry to jump and buy these stocks at this point of time. Sometimes market tend to give some kind of a dips and opportunities. He can add with respect to techno electric is concerned. He can start accumulating the stock at any dip.
Okay, got that. I hope this has also helped you out in understanding a clear strategy. Taking the next one. This one is from Nikhil Das. He's on our YouTube and he says, Hi Sakshi, good afternoon. I want to know between two stocks from the FMCG space, ITC or Tata Consumer. Which one would you prefer for the long term for a fresh entry at the current levels? Okay, we'll get this addressed from Mr. Batini. FMCG has been an underperforming space, sir, has not really seen things kick-start for itself. We were hoping that at least after the commencement of the new fiscal year from April onwards, when the tax cuts benefits will start pouring on investors' hands, they will have more money to spend on consumption. There was also this RBI rate cut that has panned out. That's another, bazooka that we have seen from the RBI that could be probably spurring demand. But all of this has failed to really put the spark on the FMCG space completely. But do you think this is the right time to look at any of these stocks, ITC versus Tata Consumer?
Sakshi, with respect to the FMCG stocks are concerned, as you rightly mentioned, we are witnessing some kind of a long consolidation in these stocks. But there can be a divergence at this point of time looking at the data and everybody waiting for the rate cut and the monetary measures taken by Reserve Bank of India will help the boost the consumption. I slightly agree with that one because I don't see any kind of a slowdown in terms of the FMCG consumption is concerned. But where the things are taking place, there are many of the regional brands are coming into the picture at this point of time. People are becoming more about health conscious, some kind of a other regional consumption also going up. Mean to say, tea is concerned, people are having tea, but some kind of a herbal, some kind of a other, I can say the regional players are dominating in this space in terms of the FMCG space are concerned. New brands have been entering into the market at various means and all. So some kind of pricing power is there at this point of time, and the listed dominant ones are concerned. Okay, they have been struggling to increase their market share in some products, and also their margins have been getting impacted because of these new entrants of the regional players in these segments. That's where the medium to short term overhang on these listed space big companies are concerned. If the investor have a long term horizon, definitely he can start accumulating ITC as well as Tata Consumer is concerned. Most probably he can allocate 50-50 allocation because Tata Consumer have a different product portfolio and ITC have a different product portfolio. Even though we call ITC as the FMCG company, but still the substantial amount of revenues comes from the cigarette business only. So if you want to have the diversification, he can put the things in both the stocks equally, and for those who have a very less risk appetite also, these stocks are suitable.
Okay, fair point. Got that. Let's take a few more questions. This is Avdish Kumar Thakur. He's from Diogar. He says National Fertilizer 108 रुपीज़ पे 200 शेयर्स लिए हुए हैं. 3 months का क्या टारगेट हो सकता है? He's bought National Fertilizer, I believe, looking at the monsoon season as well. That's when we always see fertilizer stocks come into focus also, Kranti sir. National Fertilizer 108, that's the purchase level. ये 3 महीने के लिए क्या टारगेट आप यहाँ recommend कर सकते हैं?
Actually, अभी market normally people try to get into the momentum. They want to take the advantage in the medium to short term. As of course the fertilizer stocks are concerned, they are having small correction and consolidation phase. Uh, we have witnessed some kind of a slowdown. So the progress is a little bit. We had an advanced monsoon. The monsoon have advanced, and but the progress of the monsoon is quite slow across the India. So next couple of months are quite important for fertilizer stocks. So the investor have the time horizon of 3 months. He can see some kind of uptick in the stock. The better thing is, since it's a trading position, he can have a trailing stop loss somewhere around 90 level. That's where it's important. But once the momentum re-energizes in the market, he can expect the stocks to the range of 125 to 130. That is the range he can expect in the medium to short term.
Okay, got that. Let's take another question. This one is from Rohit Srivastav. He's from Prayagraj in UP. Hi, Rohit. His question is, I have purchased Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders. I bought it 900 shares at the rate of 3,150. I can hold on for 6 more months. I want to know if there is any more upside on the stock. Should I hold or sell? That's the question. Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders. Again, the defense story that continues to go strong. We've seen again a momentum build up yet again today on this space, because the markets overall, the sentiment was down, but it was the defense space that started to kick, and buck the trend in today's trading session. Even these shipbuilder stocks bought at 3,150 levels. Mazagon Dock, what's the outlook?
My outlook remains positive with respect to the Mazagon Dock is concerned, Sakshi, but the investor entered at the peak of the price at this point of time. Any dip, definitely he can accumulate and he can hold on. The stock will deliver positive returns in the medium to long term. Short term, some kind of aberrations we can expect, since these stocks have rallied more than 100% in the past 7 8 months. So some kind of consolidation is inevitable for any stocks, but the earning outlook is quite strong for these companies. And some kind of consolidation also much needed for these companies in the medium to short term.
Okay, got that. Let's take another one. This one is from Tulasi Prasanna from Vishakhapatnam. Says, hi, I want to know about Sky Gold and Diamonds. I bought this stock at an average price of 426. What should be my strategy now? Should I average, hold or sell them? What exactly is your viewpoint? Now, if you look at the last year, I think calendar year 2024, the stock really performed very well. In fact, it was one of the outperformers in the gems and jewelry spaces. After that, of course, we have actually seen a long haul of consolidation play out as well in this space. But any outlook that you could share on Sky Gold, sir?
Sakshi, the stock had a strong rally, and in fact, the gold prices also going up. And
Yes.
as and when the gold prices are going up around 1 lakh rupees, and in the international market, about $3,000 per ounce, 3,200 and all, that's where some kind of a subdued demand is taking place in the domestic market. Whenever gold prices comes below 1 lakh rupees, we can see some kind of a buying interest is emerging for the retail gold buying is concerned. So, given the kind of a strong domestic demand India have with respect to the gold consumption or gold purchases are concerned, these companies are going to give decent returns, mid-teen kind of returns. So, investor can hold on for a medium to longer term. Some kind of the high price of gold can impact the margins and sales in the medium to short term. Since the stock had a fabulous rally, the company is going through some kind of a consolidation in terms of the price consolidation is concerned.
Okay, got that. I hope this has also given you some understanding. Last question we'll take, and this one is from Ankur Modi. He says, hello Kranti sir, can you please suggest any good portfolio stock ideas for long term? That's a question that always comes your way, Mr. Batini, for the stock selection that you always help our viewers with. Any idea that has probably struck you over the last few weeks or so that you may be looking at tapping?
Sakshi, BEML looks very attractive to me. In fact, the stock has been performing very well in the recent market correction also. Any dip in BEML, the main reason is their order book is quite strong,
Yeah.
and the theme of defense, the theme of of railways is playing for this stock in the medium to short term. So any dip in BML, one can add investors with a horizon of more than 1 to 3, 1 year and above, and 3 years and above. One can add the stock at every dip. It looks very attractive to me. Any dip in the stock is a good buy for the investors who have moderate risk appetite and high risk appetite also.
Moderate and high risk appetite investors, those having a viewpoint of 1 to 3 years and above, can definitely look at BEML. That's the choice of stock that Mr. Batini has talked about. Any dips could be used to accumulate this stock. Today also, the stock is up over 4%. Mr. Batini, it's been always a pleasure to speak to you and seek all your guidance. Thank you so much from all our viewers as well for all the insights that you've shared with them on the strategies that they must follow on their stock portfolios as well. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for giving us your time on Daily Calls.
Thank you, Sakshi. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, viewers, we will wrap it up on that note as far as Daily Calls is concerned. In case there are some more questions that we couldn't take up today, we'll take them up tomorrow. So don't forget to keep sending all your queries on our WhatsApp number that flashes on your screens and on our YouTube channel as well. Stay tuned on to Business Today Television. Market coverage continues on the other side.
Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
It was a stern warning from the president of the most powerful nation.